I tumbled out of the universe, and then I fell forever. For all that I should have been afraid, I simply marveled at the shape of all that was not creation, the canvas of what was. That massive picture that was all that had ever been was broken and torn. Jagged pieces of midnight crossed each other like warring glaciers, suspended by the simple lack of rules to govern them. Gravity, friction, time, and all other trappings of reason were not native to this place, and as I would soon learn, were another piece of creation we didn't have the perspective to appreciate. I let my eyes wander as I drifted through the sea of wicked shards and felt my soul begin to shiver. It was cold, so much so that the weaving of my creation-born self became brittle, and I could feel the stagnant frost eat at all things that had not been in this realm's day. It tore through me, feeling each individual law that I had thought was so fundamentally true freeze and crack under the weight of something much older. Why had I never felt this cold before? As each law, each weaving that was omnipresent to my magnificent and complicated reality fell away, some unnoticed ember was taken with it, and the cold invaded further. As each piece of me glittered away, something I hadn't known was there persisted. Not something creation had given me, for where I was a place far beyond that, the place creation had been built on, or perhaps into. Those things like charm and strength and balance, color and reason. Something that was instead completely my own still gave me some measure of warmth and allowed me life. I stared into the vastness of the canvas, the first and most broad shape of what there was, and realized much. More questions spun through my mind than I can remember. What stays with me, though, are the answers. The perfect, crystalline geometric precision of the shards, each like orderly snowflakes bleeding cold into the void, were smashed, broken, and unnatural. Once whole, you could see where they used to connect, and shattered as if by an angry giant. They had all been one piece once. Now, strewn between them, tiny flecks of color like water or sand decorated the spectacle. Clinging to that flat surface, or hiding in crevices, small pieces of functioning creation, or perhaps just a byproduct of it when reflected or refracted, created a nebula of color and life, like bright dye dipped into black ink. The shards themselves had no color, and instead were something iridescent in hues that only a painter could describe. This place was not empty. There were things throughout, small pieces of greater creation that had broken off or been ejected, the remnants of great battles between legends or the experiments of the greatest wizards. The universe had traveled through this wreckage somehow, and on the jagged fangs of what had been, the universe left behind its blood where it had been cut. Creation, my home, had been beautiful. This shattering was as well, but the world had been complex in ways I had not understood until this moment. It was so odd. The ingeniousness of the Creator laid next to the remnants of her rage. For the first time in my life, I regretted being a poet. I realized then that I should have been a carpenter or glass worker or a smith, someone who knew things about the ways in which glass breaks. Maybe they could unravel more of this mystery. Maybe they could explain this shattered land.